Okay. So to yesterday, we previous session we have covered up till here. Okay. So we have created a bedroom. We have created our wall paneling. We have created a false ceiling. We have specified the floating layout also. Now we want to change this. Suppose if you want to create a sliding door over here, we can create it. Or what you can do is you can download it from the study warehouse. For downloading a sliding door, what I'm going to do is I'll type in the name as Pantech. Okay. They have many kind of sliding doors. These are quite detailed sliding doors which you can use for even creating 2D elevation layouts also directly from the SketchUp. So that's why I use generally the product of Pantex for sliding doors. Okay, there are multiple options of sliding door that are given to us. From here, you can select your own sliding door, whichever you feel like, triple partition or four partition kind of sliding door. You can select them from here. Okay, or what I'm doing is I'm using double sliding door element. So I'll click over here and I'll click on download SketchUp file. Okay, now it's been downloaded. Now we'll go to the file option. We'll go to import. Okay, from here, as you can see, this is the download element that we have downloaded from Pantech. Now we are going to specify as over here. Now we do not want this documentation thing, so I'll double click on it so that I can open up the group editor command. Now I'll select this element and delete it. Now we can rotate this element. So for rotating, we'll have to first of all lock our compass, then we'll specify 2 point as a reference point, then we'll rotate it at an angle of 90 degrees. Now we will move this object from this corner to over here. As you can see, there's still a gap between these two elements. Now, if I'll measure this gap is of about 18 inches. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll double click over here. I'll apply push pull command of 9 inches from over here. Then I'll select this object and I'll move it in this direction. And I'll double click over here and I'll apply push pull command and I'll apply push pull up till. I'm not getting a complete reference point for this. No? So what I'm going to do is I'll type in the value as K. After pressing K, we can see that we are getting a hidden, our hidden lines are visible. Now we can easily specify the point from over here. After doing this, I can again press K command so that and that hidden tool will become inactive. Now I can directly scale this to the top surface of this element. Now before moving on to our SketchUp, let us place some curtains in this palette area. So for that, just type in the value as curtain. Okay, from here there are multiple type of curtain. You can download as per your own uh, uh, choices. I have downloaded this one. I will import it over here. Okay. Then after specifying the token value, I will apply locate feature. Now we'll make this object this one. This will scale it also till this surface. Now we can see an interactive view. Now you can see this surface is blocking our image here. And second thing is that it is coming black feature kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'll stop it. I won't be using this curtain. So I'll change the curtain to these one. Okay. We'll import it from over here. Okay, so we have downloaded this curtain. Okay, we'll be using this. Okay, so go to import feature and I'll import this curtain. Now we'll apply rotate command and then we'll apply move and we'll place them at this corner. Now before doing anything, I'll apply scale command. Okay, so the shortcut key for scale is S. So after pressing it, I'll select this from the middle corner. Okay, then I'll then I'll click on the surface. So it will get scale from bottom to that particular point. Now, I want two curtains to remain over here and two curtains to slide in this corner side. So for that, I'll double click on it. Then it's a component within a component. So I'll double click on it all again. Then I'll select these three elements and I will apply move command and I apply move and red axis and I'll apply move. I'll apply create and you will create a gap of some gap so that sunlight can enter into our bedroom. So let's just take this the gap as 7 feet. Okay. Now we'll click on again on this screen one feature. Now if we'll go to the renderer, you can see some sunlight is coming from this corner side. So I want the sunlight to show its reflection on on this wall. So for that, what we can do is we can change the sunlight direction by changing this point view or changing the month. Uh, while doing that, you should remember the sunlight should come from window only. Okay, because the sunlight that is incoming from this corner, na, it we it won't be coming because there's a wall over here. So that's why if you want to have a proper view, then you should make sure that sunlight direction should be from this window to this wall. So for doing that, you can either change the sunlight from over here, or what you can do is you can simply go to V-Ray option. Okay, and there's a light option, and thus in this we can see that there is a sunlight feature given to us. So we'll go to the sunlight. We'll click on this expand feature. Now, uh, uh, because sunlight is on, so that so we can see the sunlight parameter in the render. But what we are going to do is we are going to click this feature, go to this feature, custom orientation. Now we will change the orientation according to us from this these elements. So over here there is inclination. That means the sun. It if I'll move it upward, then it will set the height of the sun. Inclination of the sun. Okay. So at what height do we want the sun to be inclined? So we can set up the height from over here, and for direction we can move it from this point. Okay, we this is our object. We want the sunlight to enter from this point and fall on this wall. So for that, the direction should be somewhat here only, no? And if this is over here, then it should the shadow will cast on right side. Okay, you can see it over on this preview image also. So what I'm going to do is I'll cast it on the left side, so that's why I'll keep it over here. If you want a night render, you can reduce the angle to the downward theme also. Okay, but we want a day render, so that's why we are moving the mouse, keeping the sun in upward inclination point. Okay, now what we can further change is the sky. As when we see the render, we are seeing a clear sky. Now, if you want the cloud, you can what you can do is you can make the clouds visible by this feature. You can increase the density and other things parameters from over here for the cloud. You can change the height inclinations also. At what height should this cloud be running? That means how up do you want the cloud to be? Okay, and you can change the you can change the thickness. Keep the thickness as 10 only. reduce the file. Okay. Okay. Now, if you want, you can have a ground shadow also by clicking on this feature. Now, we'll close this. We'll again go to this interactive feature. Now, when you'll see the interactive one, we'll be seeing some cloud feature over here. So we won't be using this tool presently. We'll be using this tool and while creating exterior renders generally. But for time, you can see the difference also. You can see the white shades over here. Na? These are the cloud shades. Now, when we look at the render, we can see some sunlight is coming from this direction. Some of the sunlight is coming from this direction as well. So sunlight won't be entering from this direction. So to make it sure, what we are going to do, we will first of all make all the things and hide. Okay. Now we'll set up the camera inside the room. So for that, I'm moving the mouse in inward direction. Okay. So we have moved the camera inside the bedroom. Now, if I want, uh, I can move the camera back by the scroll wheel so that but while doing it, you can see that if I'll scroll the mouse forward, we are zooming in or we are moving towards this particular wall. If we'll scroll the wheel backward, then we are moving away from this wall. But you can use the scroll wheel for this feature, or what you can do is you can use this walk tool also. Uh, for walk tool, we just have to uh, click with left click and click on the wall on which you with which reference we want to move our camera, and then we have to drag our mouse. Now, as you can see that when I'm dragging it little bit backward, it is now being stuck because this is because at the back it's facing a wall, so that's why it is not coming out of that particular wall. So if you want, you can change the orientation, like by going left or right side. You can change the orientation. If you want a perfect horizontal orientation, you can again go to this home view, and by this manner, you can set up your screen view. Okay. Now we are. If I am zooming out, now we cannot apply. We cannot move the camera backward. So for this, if I am dragging our mouse wheel backward, so after a particular distance, what happens? It will come out of this particular wall. So for this feature, what we generally do is what for this feature, what we generally do is we first of all go to this camera option. We'll click on this 2 point perspective. Okay, we'll go to this 2 point perspective. Now we can press Z. Okay, Z is for zooming, zoom, and we'll select the left click. We'll click on the left click of the mouse and we'll drag the mouse backward. Now, by this approach, we can change the view to perspective and we can increase the depth effects also. But if I'll increase it too much, now we can see that this this is a distorted orientation. Okay, so little bit things can be arranged from over here. Or while doing this, what we can do is then again go to this home screen. We can change the field of view. Let us convert this field of view at 30 degrees. While doing it, you can see we are getting a white screen. This is because we have shifted a little back and we are facing a wall now. So I'll click on this zoom in tool again. I'll go inside this particular room. I'll set up my view as I'll set up my view as this view. Okay, go to this home feature. Now we'll change the field of view as 30 degree. We have already changed this. Now we'll press the, we'll go to this camera height feature, which is where the height is, prefix, prefix 6 inches. Okay. Now we'll change the camera to 2 point perspective. We'll press the Z command, zoom, and we'll apply a little zoom out feature. As you can see that we are getting a too distorted kind of view, like it is being stretched to a quite large extent. So for solving this purpose, what we can do, we can create a sectional view. We cannot create a perfect view from the 2 point perspective, but sometimes if we have to slightly change things, we can use that 2 point perspective tool. But for creating a perfect view, what we can do is we can use this sectional tool. Now, this is a sectional tool. We can specify from which point we want our section to be created. So for doing that, first of all, we'll have to specify a plane on which plane we want this section view to be placed. So I want a vertical section. So I'll keep it in this green view, green plane. Okay. Then I'll move this plane out forward to about 18 inches of depth. Now we'll again go to this front view. As you can see that now we are getting a perfectly aligned view. Because we haven't hide the wall, what we have done is we have created a section. Okay, so now let us apply some zooming feature so that we can get a good view of what we are going to render, and we can set up the height from over here as 3 6 inches, quite low. So increase the height as 4 6 inches. Still, we are seeing this bottom dent now, so we can change the height to 5 feet. Now it's fine. Now I right click on it and I click on update. Okay, update this set view. Now I'll click on this interactively. Now while taking an interactive, you can see that we are getting a sunlight from over here also. So what you can do, you can stop it. We'll go to V-Ray option. We'll go to this third geometric tool option. Now here, from here, we'll select this section plane and we'll go to this option command and we'll uh, click on this camera ray only. What it will do is when we'll click on the interactive tool now, okay, so you can see that sunlight is being coming through from this point even now also. So we'll go to this V-Ray tool option. There's an option called flip light geometry and a fat light. We'll make it on. Now you can see that we are getting the sunlight is coming only from the window. Okay. Now we are getting a dull kind of image because we haven't put any kind of light in over here. Only the light that is being the object these are visible are only because of the natural sunlight and emissive light that we have given initially. So now while looking at the light, you can see that this is a sharp kind of image that we are getting a shadow of this particular panel. Uh, what we can do is we can blur out this shadow effect. But for that, we'll have to go to V-Ray Accelerator. We'll go to light. We'll go to sunlight, and there's an option called size multiplier. We will increase the size multiplier size. Okay, now we will change its I'll alter some elements over in this. Okay. Now, if I click on this interactive render now, Now see that this shadow effect now, we are getting a scattered sunlight shadow. Okay, so this is some realistic texture that we can get from V-Ray. So these are the scattered shadow effect that is generally because when we see a shadow, na, its shadow is not formed from single source of light. There are multiple sources of light. So that's why shadow gets scattered. Only the caster shadow is highlighted shadow. Okay, so that's why we can create this effect by increasing the size multiplier from the V-Ray. Got it? Now, if you want, you can change the orientation of the sun also by changing the x and y or inclination of the sun. Okay, so from for me, this sunlight is quite perfect. Now we just have to add some other additional light. So for that, we'll stop it, and we have set up this view also. So we will be adding two lights. One light we will add from the top that will act on the bottom. That is another source of light we will be adding from the camera side to this front wall. Okay. So for that we will use this rectangular tool, rectangular light as a tool. Now don't create the lights from the boundary corner. Okay, try to create light from a little bit gap, like from for creating a light. I'm using a little gap from this corner to this corner, and we are creating a rectangle in this manner. Okay. Now, when we have applied a rectangular light, now if we'll go to this interactive feature, you can uh, click on render first of all, interactive render. Now you can see some additional light that is being added because of this rectangular light. But when we see a render, na, we can see that this light is being displayed in white kind of color scheme. Okay, so you can reduce, you can rectify it for that. We'll stop this render. We'll go to this setting option for rectangular light. Now, here is the intensity. From here, we can set up the increase or decrease the intensity so that we can get a more or less light in our environment. So I'm changing it to 40. I'm changing it to 35, 34, or change it to 50. Okay. Now I'll click on this option view. This is the most important thing for setting up a rectangular light. First of all, we'll make them invisible so that we have only the light and the rectangle itself won't get reflected. Second thing, we'll off this shadow effect also so that we cannot get a shadow of the plane of light that we are using. We will off this effect spectral because it will reflect itself in the wall. So we'll uncheck it also. We'll uncheck the effect reflection also because otherwise this light will get reflected in when we place a reflecting surface like mirror or any other polished surface. This light will get reflected itself. So we'll have to check it off also. Now we'll close it. Let me hit the interactive render. Now you can clearly see that we are getting only the light intensity we are getting. Okay. So we have added a single light from the top. Now we will add an additional light uh, that will come from the camera to and fall on this particular wall. So we'll stop it. First of all, one second. This was laminate, right? Material. Okay, okay, we will create another rectangle light. So for that, we'll go to this rectangle tool light. We'll create another light from this here to here. Now you can see that we are getting a direction. We are getting a wall light from this wall to into the camera. No? So what we are going to do is we'll first of all apply scale feature and we'll scale it to this extent. Now we will flip this light, okay, so that its direction is in that particular side. Now we'll again go to this screen view Suppose now if I click on interactive renderment, now what we are seeing that there is a black color of surface that is coming through. It is because we haven't made the light invisible. So for that, we'll go to the view, lights. There is another rectangular light that we have recently added. Now we'll have to convert it into invisible. And second thing that we generally do is make the shadow off, uncheck the shadow feature, uncheck the spectral, and uncheck the reflection. Now we'll close it. Now we'll again click on this interactive, render interactive. Okay. In this manner, we can add some lights to our model now. Now it's fine. Okay. So by adding up light, we can set the value of, we can see through the things properly. Now we are getting quite darker color over here. So what I'm going to do is I'll reduce this color from this much dark to a lighter shade gray. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll stop this vector render. I'll go to this picker tool. I'll pick this material first of all. I'll go to edit feature and I'll convert this into lighter shade. Okay. I'll go to screen. Now it's fine. Okay. By doing this, we have set up our first view. That is this front view. We have set it up. All the things on this wall are been done. We have added lights also. Now in tomorrow's session, we will create our own wardrobe. Okay. Okay now. Okay, Ashutosh.
Yes.